Okay, welcome back. So what we're going to do in this example is I'm going to kind of lay out the parameters for the analysis that I want you to run, and then you see if you were able to do it correctly, okay? So we're going to do pretty much what we did in the last example, except this time I want us to look at whether there's a change in confidence over time with a student's experience and exposure to a statistics class, right? So here's confidence. It's measured at 3 times over the course of, I guess, the semester. And so we're going to do just what we did before. We'll say general linear model and then repeated measures. It's going to come up and say, okay, here's factor one, but we're going to change that and we'll call it confidence. Okay. And we could call it confidence over time. We'll just call it confidence. We'll give it 3 levels. We'll say add because there's 3 levels to give. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is go ahead and run the analysis without looking at the video. If you get stuck, you can always start the video again. But try to run it without the video. So why don't you pause right now? And when I come back, I will run the analysis. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and run the analysis. So I'll click define. And you should have seen this, right? So we'll hit confidence for time one, and we'll put it there. And then we want confidence for time two. We'll put it there. And then confidence for time three, and we'll put it there. And again, we'd like to see mean increases in confidence over time. We're going to skip model and contrast. We'll click plots, put it on the horizontal axis, click add, continue. Okay, post hoc doesn't do anything for us, so we're going to just move straight down to options. And this is where we'll get a comparison of those means. And we're going to use Bonferroni to do that. Then we're going to click down on each of these as part of our analysis. Okay, so I'll click continue, hit OK, and up comes our output. Now I hope you got something that looks like this. You might want to take a look at your output and just see if the means are matching up, you're in good shape. Okay, so we'll hit look at this first box here. Just gives us that warning. That's normal. Here are our variables. It's confidence at time 1, 2, and 3. There are the means. That's good news. Those means are increasing over time, so it looks like people are getting more confident. The question is whether that increase is due to chance or measurement error. We're going to skip this box, right? Take a look at our sphericity assumption. Again, we get a statistically significant result, which means that we're going to have to employ the greenhouse geyser correction. So when we come down to the ANOVA table itself, we're going to go over here. We're going to skip this first row that says sphericity assumed. Go down here to greenhouse geyser. The F ratio is 33.186. That's a statistically significant result. The likelihood of observing this F ratio simply by chance or measurement error, less than 1 in 1,000. Has an effect size of 0.53, which is a large effect. Okay, so all looks good. We don't know yet where those mean differences are. Or if it's between, say, is the mean different from time 1 to time 2, time 2 to time 3, time 1 to time 3, or they're all different from each other? We don't really know that yet. So we'll have to look for that in just a moment. Okay? So when we're reporting our results, the F ratio that we report would have degrees of freedom of 1.42, and that's for between, and then degrees of freedom within of 41.21. Okay? We're going to skip over the test of within subjects contrasts and the between subjects effects because there is no between subjects factor. We're going to come down here. We see the means again. And then we're going to look at pairwise comparisons. And again, we see, just like in the last example, all these asterisks running right down the column. That means the mean for every condition was different from the mean for every other condition. Okay, last thing we'd look at is the marginal means. Here's our plot, and you can see how those means are increasing over time, which is what we'd like to see if an intervention to help people deal with their fear of statistics is successful. We'd like to see them becoming more confident in their abilities over time. Okay, so I hope that you got the same results and that you were able to walk through the output and interpret it the way that we just interpreted it. You would then go ahead and write that all up in APA format. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for the examples for within subjects ANOVA. Why don't you now go into our next Wawa and begin work on that because you'll be revisiting this data set and then running the analyses and writing it up as part of the Wawa.